Fantastic.
Let it rip.
Just a second here. We are going live.
Yep.
Okay. And yes, we're live on Facebook.
All right.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. This is Professor Nez. I am with the amazing, the incomparable Steve GAMLIN. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you, my friend. What's new with you? What's been happening with you lately?
I was watching back on yesterday's episode and just taking some notes, knowing that we were going live today. And I sat there and I thought, you know what? There's three of us sitting around at different ends and ups and downs of the country. And I actually sat there watching it with a pen and paper and took some notes. I mean, I think yesterday was the example of the show that I hope we bring all the time, where it's not just three guys talking about theory, but actual concrete steps and ways that people can improve their digital media as digital entrepreneurs. So I'm real excited for today's live event.
Fantastic. Yeah. So this is, just in case you're new to us, this is something that we've been trying to implement. We're trying to connect with you guys. We're big believers in making sure that our audience understands that we care, and we want to better understand you guys and better understand how to serve you guys so that we can make the best shows possible. We are three creators who really bring a lot of experience, over 50 years collectively of experience in the digital entrepreneurial space. And we're trying to do these live shows intermittently throughout the week in between our episodes airing, just to kind of get a better feel for what you guys are getting out of the show, how we can do better, how we can better implement the strategies and cover topics that you really care about. And Episode 6, as Steve talked about it briefly, was all about how to use social media, to, and not just social media in this grand, because that term has a lot of weight to it and a lot of associations, but actual concrete details and actual concrete examples of ways in which you can use these unbelievably easy, accessible tools to make your business thrive and grow and reach the people that you need to reach, your target audience. Steve, I'm going to go ahead and share this out. Talk a little bit about what you've kind of garnered and what you've gathered and what you want to talk about for Episode 6. What are some things that you felt really stood out?
One of the things that really struck me, and first off, like you just said, talking about these tools, here's the best part. All of these tools are free.
Right.
And what better than free? I mean, it's a great way to share them out. One of the things that struck me is something I said yesterday, and we all agreed on, and we all kind of went around sharing experiences of this, was that social media may be permanent. So be very careful about what you do out there. It's not that everybody has to be pure, everybody has to be, white as the driven snow, but just when you hit that button to share this message around the world in a split second, just ask yourself, is this how I want the world to see me or recognize me? Now, we all have lapses. We all get into these little, I don't want to call them altercations, but occasionally we get into some interactions on social media. And all of a sudden, maybe we're not representing ourselves as well as we should, especially if we're in positions of responsibility like I am. I am a professional speaker. I'm positive for a living. I do my best to walk my talk every day. There have been a couple of occasions where I came very close where I let someone get me all riled up on Facebook that I nearly, now when Tina hears me, and I do this just so you can hear how loud, if she hears me typing like this, Tina says, "You better not hit send." And then it calms me down. You got to be very careful about what you're doing out there. Just please remember, we're all professionals out here as entrepreneurs. It's okay to let our feelings be known, but just remember that one wrong move can really affect your career. I could put out one seriously misspoken post today that could end my speaking career in a heartbeat. And there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that. Mm-hmm. Back in the old days, and I speak to teenagers a couple times a year, and I tell them, hey, look, when I was your age, we had to pass notes in class. We didn't get the text. Yeah. And if the teacher said, hey, what's that note say? Whoever was holding the note was supposed to eat it. Right. It's permanent now. It's not your fault. It's the ways of the world now. So just be very careful out there. And I think just remember that you have a responsibility to the rest of the world.
I like the way you said that, Steve, and we've talked about this on several episodes that, there's a human being, behind that avatar, right? These are people. These are not just anonymous figures, anonymous floating pixels on the internet. These are people. And I think the more that you're aware that, social media is not just this distant molecular universe that has nothing to do with people and human interaction. This is what I love about digital entrepreneurship. And this is what I love about creating an online business is that you have these unbelievable tools. It's not the user, it's the tool. And we talked about this in episode 6, really concrete examples and details of how you can use these specific tools. And if you focus on the negative, if you focus on what people are doing that are spreading a sort of trollish, negative message out there, well, then that's the kind of environment that you're going to be, immersed in, and you're going to reflect that environment. So you really need, I like what you said, Steve, when you said choose wisely. And I know plenty of colleagues, but as a matter of fact, who have, responded to an email or sent an email when they were in that state of anger or that state of, discombobulation, and it's cost them their career,
Yeah, I refer to it as the state of up yours.
Yeah.
And if you're in that state, you can do some damage because, like you said, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
We say we kind of focus on putting out a bad thing, which can go around the world and can have bad effects. It's also a great delivery system for the good stuff. Right. I put out a quote about a year and a half ago that reached 4.1 million people on Facebook in 11 days.
Wow.
Now, that did wonders for my awareness as a speaker. I still have people talking about that a year and a half later. And it also tripled the amount of followers I had on my speaker page, my professional page on Facebook. So again, double-edged sword. We keep talking about it like a cautionary tale, but there's a great side to it as well. Mm-hmm. In a half second, your message goes around the world. Just, make sure it's a good one. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And this is another thing that I try to tell my clients and my students as well, is that you said that it can stick, right? Some of these posts, if you're not on Snapchat or some of these 24-hour ephemeral sites, this stuff can stick. So, I love what one of our, proud kind of members of our 2 Ritual group and one of our great leaders, Mr. Nick Nimmin, he has a sign in his videos. He has a nice little reminder, do something today that your future self, right, would be proud of or would thank you for. Yeah. And I think that's really a great takeaway for episode 6 is, whatever you put out there, people are listening. It's going to get out there. As Steve said, it's going to travel, within a millisecond. It's out there to the entire world. Essentially, I mean, you're not going to reach everybody, obviously, but essentially it's there up for grabs. Mm-hmm. So I think that, and doesn't this relate to mindset, Steve? The mindset is, really being aware, really being conscious, and, trying to just be intelligent and don't let your emotions get the best of you. I love the way you said that. What else about episode 6 did you want to talk about, Steve, that you feel maybe needs a little more elaboration, or something that you want to point out that you highlighted that really our audience here can really take a listen to and understanding, more further understanding. And by the way, guys, please leave your questions. Please leave your concerns. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the Digital Entrepreneur Show live after show broadcast. We just aired our episode 6, how to use social media to grow your business, grow your customers and your audience. Please leave questions in the comments. We're going to come back. If you're watching this on the replay, we're going to come back and answer those questions. So please, we freely welcome. We want you guys to ask away. Steve?
Yeah, if one of your comments or questions is, why does the wall art look higher than Steve's head now? I just got a lower chair. I was sitting on absolutely the most uncomfortable. It was a folding stool, and we've been filming episodes and episodes.
And you're a big guy too.
And I'm a tall guy anyway. Yeah. So I'm sitting up with zero back support. And I've been at the chiropractor like 5 times in the last month and a half. And I said, I don't know what I keep doing. And then one day we were on for an extended amount of time filming, and all of a sudden my back just went pop. And I said, right, okay, this little stool This sucks. So I went and got a nice chair with some back support, and then realized it sits about 8 inches lower than before. So all of a sudden the wall art has disappeared up the wall. And I also discovered that all the stuff I had piled behind me was now in the shot. So I had to clean the recording studio and buy a new chair just to save my back. So there we go. Sharing that across social media right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good for a laugh.
Right.
But one of the things I wanted to mention was, and kind of exactly what Tim had said yesterday, and we all had echoed, know where your audience is. In the speaking world, I deal with this all the time, especially when speakers are new and they're coming in and they're starting to use social media, or they're starting to use these different platforms as well as the live platform. Oh, I can talk to anybody. Well, who's your audience? Well, anybody. Mm-hmm. Well, anybody's not your audience.
Not good enough.
Gender, age, income demographic, depending on what your particular entrepreneurial venture addresses. Who are you talking to? Narrow it down as best you can and go find out where these people are hanging out. If you're not sure, Google it. Just say, what are the age groups of this particular social media? And then go hang out there and watch the conversations that are going on. Don't just think you can be bull in a china shop and say, well, I can talk to any audience, because I learned very early in my speaking career, that's not true.
Yeah.
I had a very pissed off HR manager who proved it. I was not the right speaker for their audience, and I arrogantly said, I can talk to anybody. Wrong.
I think that's probably, this is why I love episode 6, guys. And you got to go check out episode 6. We're broadcasting this live from the Digital Entrepreneur Show Facebook page. There is a pinned post with all the links to SoundCloud, to iTunes, to our Facebook page, to our YouTube channel. So we're really in a lot of areas of convenience for you to kind of get this knowledge. And this is what we really care about more than anything, is bringing our experience and bringing value. We know there's a lot of shows out there. There's a lot of people who are vying for your time. We are hoping and we are working our butts off to create the most powerful show and the most powerful, really educational show. It's an informational show to help you learn and avoid the mistakes that we made and really grow and scale and really achieve that freedom that having a digital business, having an online business can really, really produce for you. So we really hope that you guys can help us out. We want to go directly to the source. This is the whole purpose of these live streams. We want to go directly to the source to find out how we can do better, how we can cover topics that you want to hear about. And, I think the biggest mistake that I made, and I know we talked about this in episode 6, you got to understand who your ideal client is. That's I think the biggest mistake and this really goes not even online, just offline as well. Who are your customers? Who are your ideal customers? And then provide the most value. I know Steve, being a professional speaker and vision boarder, provide more value than anybody in your field. Provide more value than anybody in your field. It's not to say you cut anybody down. It's not to say that you go after them or you're sort of this like aggressive competitor. Nothing like that. Just you do the best that you can within your specific field and provide the most value, and it all comes back. And you'll see the numbers climb. You'll see the analytics rise. You will be successful. But yeah, I think the main thing that I took away from episode 6, and I hope that everybody here watching and everybody here listening and watching on the replay gets, is your ideal client, your ideal audience is numero uno, the most important.
Yeah. And remember, with every post, with every message, whether every video, every article, every new thing, we were talking about social media yesterday, we kind of hit the big 4 of Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and we talked about Twitter as well. We'll have some more episodes talking about other social medias as well. Just remember, every single post is planting a seed for something. And what Nez just said is you're not bashing your competition so much as you're building your own little cocoon. I mean, I have a friend who a few years ago, and he's extremely talented. What he did was had a bunch of people that he knew actively bashing his competition. Wow. In a way they thought it was going to elevate him. And I sent him a message and I said, hey, look, you know what? It's not a good marketing idea to just say, hey, that guy sucks. Watch
no,
this
that
guy.
Doesn't work.
It wasn't a very integrity-based thing. Hey, we can all exist. There are 10 billion people out there calling themselves motivational speakers. Do I go out and attack each one of them? No. If I see somebody doing something with a lack of integrity, I may point it out, but I'm not going to say this guy sucks. It's just, I'm here building up my own reputation, and social media, it's all free. I'm enjoying so much awareness because I know who my audience is. I know what their challenges are because they tell me.
Right.
And just consistently getting your message out there. And there was a quick video I put together yesterday. It's called, it asked the question, will you be a second half superstar? Meaning at the time of this live event, it is about halfway through 2017. If you haven't been as active on social media or in the way you want to be, or unifying your message across your social media channels in the first half, all right, catch your breath, pick up your pen and paper. What are you going to do differently in the second half? Watch the episode again, take some notes. What are you going to do differently in the second half of this year to really start to shine and get focused? That's an important action step for right now. And start deciding. Don't just say, well, it's summer, I'll take a while off, because then all of a sudden it's going to be Labor Day. And you go, well, everyone's kind of getting back in. I'll wait
till next year.
And then it's fourth quarter. And all of a sudden you go, well, no one's doing anything. I'll wait till January. Well, guess what? You can say that any time of the year. The best time to start is right now. Do something.
Right.
Just do something. Change the header on your Facebook page. Change your avatar so it's not Mickey Mouse giving someone the finger.
You can do something. I love what Roberto Blake said recently. If you create a playlist on your YouTube channel, if you're not creating videos, both Steve, myself, and Tim, God knows where Tim is.
Tim's down in the bunker working pretty hard today. I communicated with him earlier, and Tim's working on some big stuff.
But we're all YouTube creators, and we know. I don't think a lot of people understand. And I want to talk about your video. Good to see you, Jeff. Jeff's in the house.
Hey there, Jeff.
Jeff says, "Great to see you, Steve." Absolutely. Hey, Jeff.
Take a sip for Jeff here. It's like 90,000 degrees down here today.
Okay, we're gonna.
I'm actually tanning as we speak. These light, I moved the lights yesterday.
I think I need to start basting you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get a sponsorship from Lancome. Just keep plastering me with stuff here, because
Lancome and Foster Farms. Hey, if you're out there, Foster Farms,
something.
So
something. We'll take your check to move the lights back.
Being a video creator is extremely, and this is not complaining, this is just a fact. It's extremely hard to produce, create, edit, upload, render, make sure that the sound effects, the lighting. I mean, it's a big, really grueling process. And, I watched your video last night, Steve, your second half comeback.
Oh, thanks for the comment, by the way, too. I appreciate that.
I thought it was great. I love the title. I love the, not to turn this into a love fest, because I know how much Tim loves that. But this is how it relates to.
You're going to get ripped for that.
Yeah, that's okay. I get ripped by him every day. It's not a big deal. but it's about the kind of message and how it relates to the digital entrepreneur show, what we're doing. If you find that, gosh, I just don't have what it takes today to make a video, like Steve was suggesting, change something on your banner, do something little, do something. You can create a playlist on your YouTube channel. Do something, because it's going to be 2018, and I can't even fathom those words coming out of my mouth.
I know
it's going to be 2018 before you know it. You know what I mean? So you have 6 months now to really do something. And I love that the main thing that I want to get across to everybody is, and I've said this on earlier live streams, if this bozo can do it, you can do it too. Trust me. I know that sounds bumper stickery, but I have learned more by doing. And I think this really is a macro look on everything, even my writing and my professorship. I've learned more by doing than just sitting around and thinking about it. If there's anything I hope that this show does, is I hope it fuels you to action. It fuels you into action, because you see that if these three guys can do it, holy macadamia nut, I can do it too. Yes. Yep. Yes, you can. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And the way we're talking
about it too, I don't want people to get scared to think that they're not ready to do video. Wherever you are right now, you're ready to start. Even if you just have a phone and you're sitting there holding, if you don't even have a tripod for your thing yet, hold your arm really still.
Right.
And just film something. I found an old hard drive yesterday. Somebody was interviewing me for an article. And I had to go back into an old external hard drive. And I found some of my early videos. Holy crap.
Wow.
But I wouldn't, and it's funny to look back and I think, wow, these videos were horrible. Wait a minute. Those videos got me a lot of subscribers. They got me a lot of likes. They got me a lot of comments.
Right.
Now, right now I can bury the quality of those because I've upgraded the equipment. I've gotten more comfortable on camera. But wherever you are right now, it is exactly where you're supposed to be to get started. Do your first video.
Yeah.
And I used to, I used to tell people I turned the camera on. I did 20 takes. I hated myself more after each one, and I deleted the whole damn thing. I had a friend, and these things happen every once in a while. If you see anybody talking about doing, say, a 30-day video challenge or something like that, do it. It is the greatest thing I ever did, because I had somebody on my butt on the first day. Where's your video? Where's your video? Where's your video?
Right.
And I went, fine. I said, fine. I turned on the camera. I did a video, and it sucked. The thumbnail sucked. Like I said earlier earlier this week in the Tube Ritual testimonial. It's back when YouTube used to pick the thumbnail for you. Just take a still shot for somewhere in your video.
Right.
It always looked like I was holding in a fart. I was like this. Making a face. Well, I learned how to do thumbnails. Yeah. In this one particular
no more Mexican
video,
food for you, Steve.
Yeah. I know. This one particular video that I didn't want to do and I didn't want to upload, but I did it anyway. 3 days later, somebody sent me a message. Wow, how did you know I needed to hear that message today? Thank you so much.
Right.
And I thought I wanted to type back. It sucked, but instead I just typed back, "You're welcome," and I just kept working.
That's great. Yeah, keep working, keep doing. We have a question from Jeff. Jeff says, how many subscribers do you have? How many should we aim for? Let me take this really quickly, and then I want to hand it to
go
Steve.
for it.
I think that you shouldn't worry about how many you have, and I don't think you should worry about how many you should aim for. Of course, I'm not saying I don't want 1 million subscribers. Of course we do. We all want more. But if you just focus on the numerics, if you just focus on the numbers, and you don't focus on the people that you do have who are watching you, I only have, and actually, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say only. I treasure my YouTube audience. I've got 233, last I checked, subscribers. That's a lot of people. That is a lot. I mean, imagine if you went into a room and there were 50 people there who were willing to listen to you, engage with you, follow you. I have 233 just on YouTube alone, not counting my other audiences on different platforms. That's phenomenal. I'm not worried about the numbers. Of course, I want to grow. I think the main focus, Jeff, should be on creating the most amazing content and videos that people want to see. You have to ask yourself, do they really need this information? Do they really need this entertainment or whatever type of channel you've got or content you've got? Just focus on making the best stuff possible, okay? And then you can, after you've done that, I think step by step, and I'm sure our Tube Ritual group would agree with this, and then you can go into the sort of strategy and the sort of analytics and the SEO and the targeting and the tags to get those numbers higher. I think that's an important part of the process. But I think first, especially when you're starting out, and I still consider myself starting out, and I actually kind of always want to consider myself starting out, to be honest. That's just another thing. Focus on making the best videos possible that you need to ask yourself, why do you think people need to see this? What do you think, Steve?
Exactly. And I'm right there in the same boat with you. I have 241 subscribers. And I saw somebody the other day in the Tube Ritual group saying, well, my goal is 10,000 for the year, and I have 17 right now. And they're making themselves crazy. And what they're not doing is what you just said, put out quality videos. Now, the post that I had go viral on Facebook a year and a half ago, it was no different than any other post. But I just consistently created the best messages I could, put my logo on everything. Everything is branded.
Right.
But you just keep creating good videos. And what's a good video? A good video is something you can actually watch of yourself and not want to barf, but also a video that has an actionable item or something for somebody to take value from. And be very careful about the people out there that talk about just the numbers. And they say, well, there's this thing out there called sub for sub. Hey, I'll subscribe to your channel if you subscribe to mine. Well, that's deadwood right there. Or people that say you can buy 10,000 subscribers. That's also something you do not want to do, because you want to maintain integrity with yourself and with your audience. And I treasure all 241 of those people. I really do. And when I lose one, they didn't like today's message, whatever. If all of a sudden I pick up 5, man, I'm jumping up and down here in the recording studio.
It can be
5 people give a crap.
Right. It can be a dangerous roller coaster. And this is probably something we're going to talk about on the show as well. If you're really just focusing on the likes, focusing on the numbers, focusing on how many people adore you or don't adore you, it's a really dangerous emotional roller coaster, and I'm not adverse to it. I'm not immune to it. I think you being a human being a creator, the sort of temperament of a creator is, I think, one of the criteria is you have to be sensitive. If you're not sensitive, I don't know how you can be a creator. You have to be sensitive to your environment, sensitive to your audience, sensitive to your delivery, your everything, right? That sensitivity, that antenna, being an author, first, a storyteller at heart, my antenna is very sharp because where do I get my material? I get my material from life. So you have to be sensitive. I've written a bunch of books about this, about the artist's temperament. And, I think it's a slippery slope. I think focusing on numbers, focusing on likes, especially when you're starting out. I know, Steve, we've talked about this a lot with Tim and other members of our group and other networks that we have online, that, if you just focus on that aspect, and it can really bring you down, especially when you're starting out, and you end up, this is what I was going to say, I kind of lost my train of thought. You can end up giving up on something that is literally seconds, maybe even inches away from succeeding. If you're and the propensity to give up and quit can really overcome you sometimes. I mean, I don't know about you, Steve, but there are definitely times that I've had my bad days. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
How do you fight through those bad days? I think by focusing on the content, I think focusing on believing in your message through thick and thin. You're going to get haters, you're going to get trolls. If you don't believe in your message, you need to investigate that. I think you need to really ask yourself, honestly, maybe this isn't something that I'm cut out for. Maybe this is something that maybe I need to revamp my message or edit that and convey that in a different manner. Steve, what's your thoughts on that?
You got to be careful of what you focus on, the good versus the bad. You're going to get good reaction. You're going to get bad reaction. There are trolls out there. There are people who hide behind their laptops, behind an avatar, and just like to fling crap all day long just to see if they can get a rise out of you.
Right.
Recognize them early on. Let them go. Let them say what they want to say. Delete them if you can. But, I've sat here at my laptop before and somebody puts up a negative comment and I flip off my laptop and go, up yours, and just go on. I just go create another post because there were 3,000 people who said they liked it.
Right.
Why am I focusing on that? So just keep putting out the best content. You will continue to attract the good things, and just keep working across all the platforms we talked about on episode 6. If this is your audience, your Facebook, your YouTube, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Instagram. Hey, we're live on Instagram right now too.
Yep.
Just stay focused and stay consistent, and you will continue to attract your audience. Now, when you get feedback that consistently that says, well, why I don't get why you said this or this is how I took this, use those things to always craft and refine your message. I mean, I put out a post on Facebook that I was sure I was in a bad mood that day. And I was positive I was going to get bad feedback on it. I had a friend who was in a bad relationship, and she finally decided to just get rid of this person out of her life. And to make her laugh, I put up this almost offensive post. It was a porch with a doormat, and said, if you're tired of living like a doormat, pick it up and throw it off your porch. You might not find your spare keys, but you will find your balls. And as soon as I put it out there, I went, I said, my female followers may be,
there goes that demographic.
May find this objectionable. The funny part was women loved it. And I was so appreciative that they got that I wasn't trying to be dirty about it. I was saying, you know what, you got this. And that was my message behind it. And I was so overjoyed to see, 99.9% positive reaction to it. It could have been a dangerous thing for my career because many of my clients are female, but it was embraced. Right. And the feedback I got from it was, wow, you actually said it the way we think it, but we don't always say it that way.
Yeah.
And it's, again, it was just taking from your life and imparting some value, or at least imparting a message to the world. If you can get the world to notice your message, but also the way you deliver it. I mean, some of my stuff is edgy like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you can just get your heart and soul out there, you're going to stand apart from the people, or at least in my industry, I'm going to stand apart from the unicorn and marshmallow cloud people who are just like, every day above ground's a great day, because some days really suck. And I just don't mind saying that. We just got to be, just deliver it from your heart with integrity.
Right.
The world will tell you if it's okay or not.
Yeah,
and
the
maybe you got to make
marketplace
adjustments.
decides. The marketplace decides.
Yeah,
Josh
you're
asks
always
a
going to be
really-
adjusting.
Yeah, Josh asks a really good stuff, Steve. Josh asks a really great question. Is there anything we can learn from trolls? For instance, some of the stuff they say is just negative, but some of it is true. How do we look at what they are saying objectively without just writing them off? I love this. I love this, Josh. This is an amazing question. I think Jeff kind of piggybacked on that as well in the comments. And I know Steve's got an answer for this. And if I may, Steve, just start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I really, this is what my entire YouTube channel is all about. My entire YouTube channel is about the debilitating depression and anxiety that I went through my entire life, and how I walked through that hell, walked through that fire, and came out the other end, and what I've learned and what I've garnered. And, I think it's really important to look at things objectively. And I think if you have the mindset that, okay, let me really try to, and this is what Steve was talking about, not letting your emotions, sending that email right away, not letting your emotions sort of govern. Okay, this goes back to like philosophy and stoicism, but not really letting your emotions govern your actions, but your actions governing your emotions, right? So, really, I think this is a great question, Josh. And the way that I try to do it, and do I succeed at this all the time? Hell to the no. I fail a lot. I make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes it really pisses me off, some things that people say. Sometimes I can really practice this. I'm doing the best I can. I'm a human being. I want to first say it's okay to be thrown off guard. It's okay to be upset. Just don't let it stick. Just don't let it, command your every action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing to do is really, I love what you said there, Josh. Try to take a deep breath. Allow the hurt, allow the fact that it really bruised you for a second, allow that to take place. I did a live stream about this recently on my YouTube channel. It's okay, accept that first. And then I think that cloud will let that cloud pass, that emotion pass, and then really specifically, honestly, be humbled and say, is there anything here that I can take away from? Hugging Your Haters is a great book by Jay Baer. He talks about hugging your haters. And I think it's that same sort of approach, is just accepting the fact that, okay, I put stuff out there, and this relates to episode 6, how to use social media for your business. If you're going to put stuff out there, there's going to be people who like it and people who don't. But really allowing that, don't react. First of all, don't react initially. Take a deep breath, take a step back, okay? Let that feeling course through you, and feelings come and go, just like everything. And then really look at it objectively and just ask yourself honestly, is this something I can learn from or not? If it's not, if it's just really coming from a place of spewing hate and just trying to demean you, I think you'll recognize it. But what I always say is, don't ever respond in the mind state. Okay, don't ever solve a problem in the mind state that the problem created. So you want to come at it from a mindset of clear-headedness and objectivity. And I love what you said, Josh. And who knows, they might actually have a good comment. It might actually be something helpful. And maybe they're not trolls. I mean, what's your take, Steve?
Yeah, always remember that you have the power, no matter what. When it comes to, and again, we talked about this in the most recent episode, your social media, your platforms, your Facebook, your YouTube, all of these, they're your channels. You've got the power. Trolls who are just out there just to be negative and just to disrupt you, all they're trying to do is take away your power. They may not even care what they're saying. They're just trying to rob you of your power. So like Nez said, don't engage from a place of being really pissed off just for the sake of answering back. It's funny. I have to go all the way back to about 90 seconds before we went live today. I put a post on something yesterday. There was a bad situation here in New Hampshire that happened. A guy basically snuck up behind a woman and pummeled her, beat the crap out of her in a parking lot of a gym facility over the weekend. And I said, I put my response to it was, hey, I hope this guy gets caught, and hope every woman in the gym grabs a free weight and takes turns beating the crap out of him. And somebody responded, I said, I hope no lawyer will zealously defend this one. Well, somebody put up a post basically verbatim of the state law about lawyers have to tell blah, 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 blah. And, I put it as humorous because I love seeing criminals get the crap kicked out of them. Mm-hmm. And she put this up, and I went to type back, if that was your sister, and I went, no, I can't. No.
Yeah.
No.
I've been there.
My original post was this. Yeah. It's got my name on it, so I got to be careful. I've just found that some people just they do this because they want to be engaged, because they want to rob you of your power.
Right.
And they want the world to see that they knocked you off your pedestal. And a pedestal, I don't mean that, thinking we're royalty or anything, but they knocked you off your game. So just be really careful with them. Now, on the other side, having a radio personality background, stand-up comedy, being a comedy writer for 25 years, occasionally I will pick them apart with humor and sarcasm and get everybody laughing at them. They go away. Yeah. Because they're not getting the attention that they want to get. Right. They go away. And I have mocked a few people right off of, they just unfollowed me because they disappeared. Right. Remember, your channels, your platform, your power. Don't let anybody take you off your social media game.
And if they're hating on you, great point, Steve. And if they're hating on you, understand, being somebody who's written a lot and researched a lot about what goes on in this dude right here, at the root of hate, especially when it has nothing to do with you, if somebody just really wants to hate for hate's sake, you got to understand at the epicenter of hate is pain. These are people who are in pain. And I think empathizing with them and actually like seeing it from that context and from that mind state may clear things up a little bit. And, I kind of feel sorry for people who feel the need to just spew hate for hate's sake. There's the key to communication, and this is what I call social media, 21st century communication and storytelling, is understanding. We want to try to understand each other. And if we're not going to be communicating on a level that, really is, provocative and stimulates thought and stimulates intelligent discourse, then don't give your time. And as Steve said, don't give your power up so freely. You do have a choice. Don't give your power up so freely. Yeah. And these are some great topics, great questions, guys. I want to talk a little bit about, this is fantastic. I'm loving these questions. This is why I love going live, is this intimate connection with you guys. Again, just in case you're just joining us or in case you missed it, please leave in the comments below any questions, any concerns, any thoughts about episode 6, which you can find on our Digital Entrepreneur page. We have links to SoundCloud, iTunes. We're on iTunes, the Digital Entrepreneur Show. Watch episode 6, come back to this broadcast or go to our page, ask any questions. The three of us are ready and able and alert and willing to answer all your questions. I want to talk just a little bit, because we're running out of time. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about episode 7 and what episode 7 entails. We're going to be releasing another show this Friday. We release our shows every Friday and Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be
3 p.m. Eastern.
I'm sorry, 3 p.m. Eastern. Writing professor, not math.
That's
Writing
okay.
Professor,
That's
not
okay.
Math.
Tim is 2 hours. I'm 3 hours.
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Sorry thank you for the clarification.
No, that's all right. In case anybody was just listening and not watching.
What the hell is he talking about?
That's not
2 p.m.
I was holding up 3 fingers, but I wanted to at least verbalize it.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. No, I apologize. So 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Steve. Mm-hmm. And so our show 7 is going to be talking about, you don't want to miss this, you guys. Friday, 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be talking about the top 7 mistakes that entrepreneurs make. Okay. The top 7 mistakes that digital entrepreneurs make, especially when they're starting out. So make sure that you tune into that, and make sure that if you're not subscribed, you won't get an alert. So make sure that you get subscribed either to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, preferably our YouTube channel, so you can click on that notification bell on iTunes and SoundCloud, as we mentioned before. Steve, before we go, is there anything that you want to kind of close out the live stream with? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just going back to yesterday, just understand that everything you do and say on social media is going to be there forever. And I can't stress this enough. Just remember, every time you hit that enter, the whatever that sends the message out there, just remember you're telling the world everything they're going to know about you. And even if you say, well, I was just joking, well, there's somebody out there who doesn't realize you're just joking. So just be cautious out there. That's all. Right. Because especially as an entrepreneur, you've got a lot at stake, and your reputation in this world is everything, because there are other people who do what you do. And just keep that in mind, that you want to be out there making positive things happen across all of your platforms. So make sure that you are doing the same thing out there, and be consistent. That is the thing. It's your platforms. It's your power. Just be smart. Make good decisions.
Yeah, great stuff, Steve. That's something I actually learned. I made a big mistake early on when I first started out, was consistency. I love the way you said that. If you're going to commit to this, if you're going to, it really does take a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. All of you guys listening and watching out there and on the replay as well, it takes a lot. This isn't just, if you really want to grow something, if you really want that freedom that I think being an entrepreneur, the real true definition of being an entrepreneur and being self-employed is freedom, not answering to anybody and running things on your own terms. You got to sacrifice, and that consistency takes a lot of effort, especially on platforms like YouTube and others where, it's a highly involved process of video creation, of storytelling, storyboarding, editing, and what have you. Consistency is key to growth. And if your audience feels that you've been sort of absent or vacated, they're going to vacate. So I love what you said there, Steve. I want to thank my partner in crime, Mr. Steve GAMLIN, who is just doing amazing things. And I want to thank everybody who watched and who is watching. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, everybody who stopped by in the live stream, and all you guys watching on the replay. Thank you so much for checking us out. And please don't forget, just last thing before we get out of here, please don't forget to check us out on iTunes, on SoundCloud, our YouTube channel. All the links are there. And leave comments below, and we will get back to you if you have any questions. More importantly, let us know if there's a topic that you feel would really be a beautiful learning topic, something that we can share with our audience that would really give them the tools they need to thrive in their online business. This is Professor Nez on behalf of Steve GAMLIN. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
See you.